My name's Luke Robinson, and I'm on a mission to trade my way up to my dream car. A while ago, I bought a beta of a Ford Fusion for just £180 and decided to fix it and flip it for a profit before buying a slightly better car with the money and repeating the process again and again. Will I ever trade my way up to an Italian supercar? Who knows? But it's sure gonna be fun trying. This is Talksteer, running down a dream. Hey, welcome back to the BMW 1 Series, and today I'm going to go over the exterior. Now, I'm sorry for taking so long between uploads, but I've had some minor surgery, so I've been off my feet for a little bit. And if I'm a little bit hard to understand, that's why, because I've got nerve damage to my bottom lip, and I'm hoping that goes in the next couple of weeks, but until then, I've got a bit of a lisp. Now, don't worry, everything's fine, there's nothing to be concerned about, but I'm not going to be on camera for this video, and the detailing clips were filmed prior to this. Now, I've already found a buyer for this car, and I've bought a new project car with the profit, but you're going to have to wait a while until I see the reveal on that. But in the meantime, the Seat has sold for $3,000, and I've bought another car number 5 for the Running Down the Dream series, a Peugeot 205 1.9 GTI, and I've also got myself a 413,000 miles Skoda just out of curiosity. So if you want to see them, hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're alerted of them as soon as that video drops. Now in part 1 I went over the interior, and I'll leave a link to it in the pop-up banner if you want to check it out, and I was very happy with how the inside turned out, and I was hoping to make a similar impact to the exterior. Just like in the last video, I'll be using the sample kit from Sam's Detailing where applicable, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below, as well as to everything else that I've used. The car, as you can see, it's in not bad condition really. There's a couple of scuffs and scratches, some swirl marks, a general layer of dirt, so the majority of this clean is going to be pretty routine, but I'll get into some scratch removal later on. Now I'm going to start off with a regular snow foam and 2-bucket method, and you probably know the drill, so I won't go into too much depth about it. And once clean and the remaining stud are blasted off with a pressure washer, I broke out Sam's iron reactor to remove any iron contamination on the paintwork. You really can't see it act on a black car, but will make the clean stage a bit easier and a bit more effective. And some people like to use this on a dry paint. I like to use on a wet one, as I feel it has more of a chance to move around on the paint and give complete coverage, albeit it's going to be a little bit watered down. Then I took Sam's clay mist to give the car a good going over, and there's actually surprisingly little contamination on the paint. I then dried the car off and was left with a nice clean surface to restore. I'm not going to go into mad depths on this car. Again, like I've said in the Running Down a Dream series, time is money. Bang for your buck style detailing is what's needed here. There's plenty of swirls on this paint. I actually decided to break out triple by Auto Finesse. Now, this is something I've used probably not in a couple of years now, and the last time I used it was by hand, and this is my experience on a dual action with it. And I decided to use this as I was only going for 2 passes, and the more professional compounds I normally use are more abrasive and wouldn't be very effective at this type of machine polish in my opinion, as I feel that the diminishing abrasives to work properly on a more aggressive compound would take at least 4 passes to restore the gloss back to the paint. As triple is not as aggressive and also contains a glaze, it was able to leave a great shine on a medium compounding pad with just a couple of minutes on each panel, and I must say I am so impressed with how this product has performed, so much so that's going back into my detailing arsenal for quick results. The biggest problem here was the scuff on the lower driver's side and the scratch on the passenger side. I went over the scuff with some paint thinners just to soften any paint transfer that might be on there, and then went in with a magic eraser and soap and pretty much removed it all. I went back over with triple, and on that side, job done. The scratch was a bigger problem, and I knew that it wasn't all going to come out, but I could do my best to try and minimise the damage and appearance of it. This was a case of starting out with the least aggressive method and then gradually stepping it up. So the magic eraser first, which helped remove some of the extremely fine parts at the end, and then a compound on a polisher on a more aggressive pad, and this probably gave a 20% reduction to the scratch in the lighter areas. Really, this needed wet sanding, and that's exactly what I did. So I started off with 2000 grit, I went perpendicular to the scratch, and then went in with 1200 grit over the remaining parts that didn't come out with the 2000. I knew not all of it would come out, so I didn't keep sanding as I knew there was a chance I could go through the paint. Then it was really a case of reversing what I did, so I went back in with a 2000 grit, but this time going parallel to the scratch. This is because at this point I'm not trying to remove any more of the scratch, but instead undo the damage caused by the 1200 grit sandpaper. Then it was an aggressive compound and then a hand polish. I'm doing this by hand as the DA tended to struggle on the curve of the panel, and since it was a small area, I could apply lots of pressure by hand wherever it was needed. Then it was a bit more triple, and again, job done. It's probably 75 to 80% removed, but I think this is the best I can do with just paint correction. Finally, just to add some more protection to the car, I took Sam's ceramic boost and jet washed it off, and gave the exhaust a quick clean after that. And that was the exterior done. Next up was the engine bay, and I really should have started with this first, but never mind. Some exterior detail will remove any dirt that splashes over the side of the car. The engine looks worse than it is. It's all very dry underneath here, and it's all just dust, so no degreaser was needed. I brushed off as much as I could whilst it was dry, and then covered the bay with snow foam, left it for a couple of minutes, and then agitated it with a brush. Then I washed her off on a medium pressure and dried her off with an old microfiber towel. Again, just like the exterior, it gave a notable improvement without going to silly lengths. Anyway, there's just a couple of small faults left to fix on the car, may or may not film them. It's just the, I think an actuator on one of the doors, one of the speakers not working, the rear wiper's not working, and I could just do a service. I may stick on camera, I'm not too sure. But anyway, that is part 2 on the BMW 1 Series. Hopefully the car will be going soon. But yeah, I've kind of enjoyed doing this car. It's been easier than the other cars because it was in relatively good condition. Once again, Richie, thank you very much for giving me this car and the opportunity to work on it, and I'm really stoked because it's bought my new project car for me, which will be coming very, very soon. But that's actually a car I really want and I'm going to keep for a while, so I'm really looking forward to doing this project car. But again, I will reveal that in a couple of weeks or months, I don't know. Gotta wait for something else to happen first. Big stuff coming on the channel, guys, so I'm really excited, even though I can't reveal it yet. Anyway, thank you all for watching, see you soon, and as always, take care.